So how do you use local AI models to actually run your coding, your AI vibe coding? So the way you do it is by actually getting LM Studio. Now, LM Studio, most of you know, you can just chat to local models. You kind of pick one, click on download, and then it all of a sudden appears as one of the models you can actually chat to. And to chat to a model, you just click over here onto the little chat bot here. You click on a new chat, and you can just chat normally as you would. Normally, you can say hello, and then you kind of have to load a model first. So you choose the model loader, and then you pick one of the models. Now I'm going to pick this Qwen 3.8. This is as good as Opus 4.6, and this one's actually uncensored. It's the 4-bit version. It's the MLX one, which is amazing for Mac and works really quickly. Once I pick a model, I choose how much context I can have. Now, the more context, the slower it answers, but then you could obviously have much longer chats with it. You can like really, speak for a long time and perhaps code with it. So what I'm about to show you is not only how to chat with it, but how to actually run it for your coding. And the way you do that is by setting up a server. Now, the way you do that on LM Studio is by going to this second little selection window on the top left of the screen. This one here. Over here, local server, you can actually click on server running. You can switch it on and off. Now, when the server's running, it's reachable at a certain web address, and you can see that over here. But you don't have to really remember any of this. You don't have to worry about all of this, because all of this is done automatically. Because when you go to Visual Studio Code, which is basically a software which you can run on Mac and also on Windows, Visual Studio Code, you could download it completely for free. When you want to run these local models, what you need to do is get this plugin called LM Studio for Copilot. Now, what happens is when you run LM Studio in general, it adds Copilot, because that's just what comes with VS Code now that AI exists. But when you add LM Studio for Copilot, what happens is once you add this extension to a Visual Studio Code, you can actually select it over here. Let me just show you here. Let me just zoom in here. It becomes one of the options. So when you click on here, you can choose LM Studio Provider. When you click on that, it loads all of the models that you have. So I have 3 models which I've downloaded from LM Studio, and I can select whichever one I want. So let's say I wanted to actually chat with AI. All right, so since mine wasn't visible, I had to click on View and then check the chat option. Once you check the chat option, you get this chat box on the right hand side, as you can see, and then you can basically start chatting with AI about the current folder that's been opened. So here we are. I'm actually going to chat to this obliterated, uncensored AI model. I'm going to say hello. And then what you're going to see, it's actually going to respond to my request using local LLM, which is basically a local open source model. So it's very easy. There's 2 things you need. You need LM Studio, which is completely free. And as you can see, it's doing all of this work. You can actually see it's actually receiving 3 parallel requests from the AI. You can see it's running all 3. And that means it's action over here, and it's going to start responding over here. So you can see no response was returned. Okay, there must be some sort of problem. Let's check. Okay, so it's more tokens. You can see the error down here on LM Studio. I've switched back to LM Studio. You can see it's more tokens required. So what we're going to do is actually eject the model. The way you eject a model, like from the server, so that's not running anymore, you click on the eject button. Then you can load it again. But this time, they're all loaded 3 times. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to load this, but this time I'm going to make it like full blast, like all the tokens, so that it will literally just work on the first try on VS Code. And let's click try again and see if it works. Let's have a look at the server section. So as you can see, it's processing the prompt. You can see the percentage right over here, 43%, and it's working right from my local AI. So basically this video, you should save it. This video basically teaches you how to use local AI using LM Studio inside of VS Code so that you can actually start coding using local AI. And now that local AI is so powerful, you could literally start using it for free and never have to pay anyone anything for using local AI. And that's the goal of this channel, is helping you get more work done more cheaply. Okay, see you in the next video. Let's just wait for the response. All right, here we are. Hello, how can I assist you today? Say hello. And basically it starts responding, and you can see you can ask it to build you software and anything you want, and it will literally do it for you. Can you build apps? Yes, I can build you. Look how quickly it's answering. Remember, this is all local. Could you build Flappy Bird in this folder, please? I'll help you build Flappy Bird game in this folder. Let me first explore what files we have, then create the complete Flappy Bird implementation. You can see how quickly it's answering. Now this Mac I'm using is a MacBook Pro 64 gigabytes of VRAM. That's a Mac, and it's an M1 chip, so it's pretty slow, but you can actually see it's pretty quick. Actually, it's been working pretty quick. This obliterated, which means uncensored, model of Qwen 3.8 is actually perfect because it runs faster than the regular Qwen 3.8 runs slower than the obliterated version, which is actually quite interesting and amusing, that the one that's obliterated works even quicker than the regular one. So I actually am happier because I have full control and also unrestricted access, and also he would never refuse any request, and also it's quicker, so I get all the benefits and none of the problems. So as you can see over here on LM Studio, you can always look back on the server, which by clicking on local server, it's processing the prompt. I always check to see if it's still working, and here you are. He's starting to build. I'll create a complete Flappy Bird game using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Let me set up the project structure files needed for a classic arcade game. So it's actually starting to do the work. Now this is all local, so of course I'm not paying API fees for this. Fantastic.